Most of you have probably seen Denis Cyplenkov's latest training video just before his super match this weekend with Devon Larratt. And of course, there have already been a ton of videos, ton of posts talking about it, analyzing it. And a lot of them are centered around talking about Denis's wrist, or rather how his wrist looks in the practice video. And I'm here to tell you why that doesn't matter at all. But first, I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to be talking about. I'm not going to consider whether Denis has already been tired before, whether he's just letting his opponent getting in the position, things like that, because all of those we can only speculate, we can only guess at what has happened, what may be happening. And I'm telling you that all of that aside, whether he might be taking it easy, whether he's already tired, it still does not matter that much. And why do I say that? Because a lot of people are forgetting a very important thing. But first, an important thing I did not forget are my sponsors, Mistel, Zhu, Anonymous, Hao Yao, Zi, Fei, HS Bro, Augustine, and Percy. I will never forget each and every one of you. And back to why Denis's wrist does not matter that much. Denis is someone who can pull with a compromised wrist. We have seen him doing this time and time again, most famously when he was up against probably one of the best Kings movers in history, Monster Michael Todd, back at their Vendetta. We saw that Denis was able to beat Michael with a compromised wrist in several of the matches. So it is my firm belief that even if Devon does manage to take Denis's wrist, it's not going to matter as much as people think. And I do think that Devon will be able to crack Denis's wrist at least a little bit. But I think that Denis and his style of pulling is completely suited to dealing with such situations, because he already naturally does flop his wrist back a little bit when going for his sort of side pressure move. But of course, he does do better when he does manage to get his wrist cupped. But it is by no means a requirement for him to get the pin. His wrist is something more like a bonus. It's good if he has it, but if he doesn't, that's completely fine as well. And that, guys, is why I think that the wrist isn't gonna be the key factor in the Devon versus Denis match. What I think is gonna be the main factor is gonna be whether Denis has enough side pressure that he can translate even with a compromised wrist. We think of guys like Todd Hutchings who can do that with a compromised wrist, translating side pressure. So I want to know whether this new version of Denis still has that amount of side pressure as he did have back in the past, where he's able to power through, and we'll see coming this weekend. So excited, looking forward to East versus West. Who do you guys think is gonna win? Let me know in the comment section below.